Hi everyone, this is Brian Gundy from For Goodness Snakes, and today I am taking you guys along with me to one of my herping trips to the ghost town. So this is the area that I'm just now walking into, the ghost town area. So just say hi, how are you guys doing? We're going to go see what we can find. So I've been coming up here for a few years now, and this is one of the best places to come for just about anything like this. There's got to be 100 boards that I can flip, pick up. Oop, there's a blue belly. You guys can see him maybe in the grass here. So whenever you're herping and you come upon a lizard, that's all. Yeah, that's always a good sign. Where there are lizards, there are usually snakes. So this is what I do, is I just pretty much flip anything I can possibly find. And after I've flipped things, I always want to put things back, because these are actually little ecosystems that I utilize. It's like having your own special little area where you can continue to visit and find critters. So it's important that when you pick these boards up, that you put them right back in the same place that you found them. Another tip when you're out herping is, especially in an area like this, as you can see, there are nails sticking up out of these boards. Sometimes it's a good idea. Whoops. Sometimes it's a good idea not to step on wood when you're in places like this, because you can get unpleasantly surprised. Again, always put those boards back. One of the reasons why I very rarely share the locations of my favorite herping spots is because I'm concerned somebody's just going to come up here and pretty much abuse what has probably taken decades and decades. Because you can see this is an old abandoned area up here. So let's see here. Here we come upon some more boards. Oh, here we go, a nice lizard. You guys can see it right there. Nice dark blue belly. Probably doing push-ups. Basically telling the other males around here that he's the dominant one and he will fight. And you should, if you guys are interested, I have a video that I took a couple years ago that were a couple of blue bellies. I found them fighting. It was so cool. So let's continue here. Hey, buddy. And it's almost one of those things where there's not a board too small for me to pick up, to move. There we go. Nope. Nothing so far. Nope. If some of you guys are wondering, you may recognize this area. This is where I took Cusco a couple of years ago when we came out herping. I think we caught 3 rubber boas. And this is getting more difficult and more difficult. Whoops. Nope. You know, when you're as old as sound, bending over can be a little intimidating here. But it's what keeps me, hopefully, what keeps me young. Ooh, nice garter snake. But I missed him. Huh. Nope. There was a little baby garter snake that I went underneath the grass. Okay. Let's see here. Now what's interesting is that this weedy area will all be overgrown literally in a few weeks, where you could hardly even come out here and flip these boards. And we just had a rain a few days ago, so that's all good. Here, I'll take you guys for a little trip to the inside of this barn or whatever, just for fun. Okay, look over here. We've got a old abandoned toy, type of a penny arcade driving toy, and then we've got this old truck and inner tube. You gotta wonder what has happened. Look at all the graffiti. What kind of strange things have happened in the confines of these walls. Somebody's made a skateboard, half pipe, quarter pipe. All right. Let's see what we got over here. More boards. Nothing. There's thistle all over the place here. Ooh, look at that big bird. It's like big banana slug. We'll be very gentle letting this down. There's been some really gorgeous garter snakes found in this area. Oops, baby bluebelly. And I wonder sometimes if I actually found a blue or an exanthic garter snake. I think it was last year, and I let it go. But I've been wondering since then if there's a bunch of relatives around here that are pets for something that help make this particular group of garter snakes so colorful. Just they explode with color. And I'll see if I can show you guys an example of that. I'm gonna lift this one up. Nope. Nothing. Is this, am I gonna be able to do this one? There we go. Nope. Isn't that something? You would have thought by now I would have found something. Whoops. Let's see if this will work. Okay. Nope. Ooh, look at that. Little baby garter. And I mean, whoops. Let's see if he's still alive. Well, there he goes. At least he's still alive. Sorry, buddy. All right. There he goes. There he goes. There you go, buddy. All right. We will continue. Sorry about all the weird sound effects, people. Nothing. All right. That's too heavy over there. You know, when you're, ooh, look at that, a dual or a double garter snakes. I don't know if you saw that. So that's 3 garter snakes so far. Ow! That thistle can be tough. Alright. Sometimes I like to count because I'm always out to break my record of the amount of snakes that I've caught in one day. My record is 13 snakes. That included gopher snakes, California king snakes, ringneck snakes, and garter snakes, and also a western or yellow-bellied racers. That was way back in the day. My record for lizards is 52 blue bellies in one day. My record for alligator lizards is 14. 14. And again, this was years and years ago when I was a kid. When I used to do this. Whoops. Okay, here we go, guys. Eeks. I'm gonna put my camera down for a second and shoot. There was something. Right, there he goes. Little garter snake. So what's that? 4 garter snakes. Nothing. Be cool to see a rubber boa up here. So I like to come up here about once a month and just check things out. Nothing. Sometimes, depending on the time of year, I come up here more often. Sometimes if there's just been a rain, I like to come up because that's when a lot of these animals are kind of hanging around. And as you can see, there's just stuff to flip. Ooh, look at there. Some kind of a varmint. And that's what's really important about keeping these little ecosystems alive, because these snakes are going underneath these boards and pieces of sheet metal, and they're finding these animals to eat. And this is where their prey live. All right. So here you can see something that I just hate. This board should be laying back down here. And that tells me that either wind picked it up or somebody picked it up and just didn't put it back. And it didn't happen very long ago because this grass isn't dead at all. So anyway, I just hope whoever's coming up here is, doing this area right and doing these animals right. And you got it. Whoops, another garter snake. So what's that, 5? When you're in rattlesnake country, you got to be a little bit different, a little bit more careful than what I am here. This is not rattlesnake country. I've never seen a rattlesnake here. I wouldn't expect to see a rattlesnake here. So I live things a little bit differently when I'm in rattlesnake country. I want to make sure that I'm not in a position where I can be a target. So when I'm in areas where there are rattlesnakes, like in the Mount Hamilton range, then I will do things much different than when I do the way I do them here. Okay, this is going to be a little bit more difficult. We'll start over here because some of these boards are huge. Okay. And I have seen several rubber boas right here. This is rubber boa haven. Nothing here. I think I caught 3 rubber boas under this board a couple times last year. Nope. Nope. continue looking. Here's a nice beehive. If you guys are squirmish about beehives, this would be one that you might want to be careful of. But unless they're provoked or feel threatened, and they're going to be okay. We will continue to search. All right. See if I can lift this board up with one hand. Yep. Anything. Nothing. You know, it's one thing. Well, I was just going to say it's one thing getting skunked when you go fishing, but I guess I really haven't been skunked with 4 snakes or 5 garter snakes now. All right. Let's go around the back over here. Here's another board that's been moved. So I'm actually going to put it back. Oop, look at that. I moved this board and there's 2 garter snakes underneath it. Ooh, 3 garter snakes. It's okay, guys. See if there's anything else. So that was to get a triple is pretty cool. I don't know. Yeah, I've had triples before. All right. See here? Here's another board. It's been lifted up. We don't want that. We want them to stay down. Garter snake. I think that's 9 or so. 8 or 9. Not a bad place for garter snakes. I think we're at 8 or 9 now. So here's one of those nails I was telling you about. You gotta be careful out here. Ooh, 2 garter snakes, 3 garter snakes. Where are they? Right there. Yep, there were 3. So I think we're up to 12 now. All right. All right. Let's see here. We shall continue. You know, the first time I came up here and found this place, or actually it was introduced to it, I was like in heaven. I'm in heaven every time I go up here. And since I thought I'd give you guys some, take a little baby bluebelly, take an opportunity to give you guys some history about myself. I grew up in the San Jose area, lived here pretty much all of my life, just bounced around a little bit. There's another garter snake, nice one. So gosh, what are we up to, 12, 14? And all of my life I've been into animals of all different types. And growing up, I was lucky. I grew up in a family that just loved animals. And we had all different types of animals for pets. We had desert tortoises. I've had a raccoon, possum. I've been into falconry. So at 12 years old, ooh, nice alligator lizard. Look at that guy. At 12 years old, I started racing pigeons, competitively racing pigeons. And at 14, continued racing pigeons, but was into falconry at the same time. So I had 2 red-tailed hawks. Hang on a second. 2 red-tailed hawks and about 100 racing homer pigeons. And a couple, also had a great horned owl. But yeah, so when I graduated from high school, I started working at an animal hospital. And lucky for me, I worked with a veterinarian that specialized in exotic animals. So not only, did I get to work with dogs and cats at the animal hospital, but I also got to work with animals such as mountain lions. I've worked with cheetahs, African lions, wolves, chimpanzees, anteaters, lots and lots of reptiles, lots of birds of prey. And then about 30 years ago or so, I started the business called, for goodness snakes. And at that time, I was breeding and selling colubrids, king's milks and corns, and did that for about 10 or 12 years. And was actually in the process of selling out that collection when I saw a photograph, my first photograph, of a piebald ball python. And until that time, I had never seen a pied or a snake that looked like that. And at that time, the pieds were actually selling for $25,000. Ooh, look at there. Oh, jeez. $25,000. And, but look at that. Whew. Rubber boa, people. Big, fat rubber boa. Nice. This is probably the ultimate find in this area. We're not going to bother her, but she is gorgeous. Look how much weight she's carrying. She's probably just coming out of hibernation, and these are live bearers, and so yeah. But this is a nice one. Look at that. Nice weight. Perfect conformation. These animals, in fact, she could even be gravid. I'm not going to mess with her though. This is a wild animal, and I would do nothing but stress her out. So we're just going to leave her right there, especially if she's gravid. I don't want to mess her up. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Anything like this or anything more would be great. Rubber boa. Notice her tail isn't long and narrow, thin. It actually comes to a blunt end. And if I were to look at that tail, you would notice that it's probably all chewed up. Where most snakes are very sensitive about their tails being touched, these snakes actually offer their tails as a sacrifice. When eating little rodents, they'll actually make the rodent think that the end of the tail is actually the head of the snake. And the rats or mice will actually start to chew on the end of the tail, but while the other end of the snake is gobbling down babies, mice and rats, rodents of some sort. So anyway, we're just going to put this board back on, this rubber boa, #1 rubber boa for 2019 season. Let's see how many more we can catch. And normally I would go ahead and lift up these two boards that she's on top of, but yeah, I'm just going to leave her alone. And whoever's living underneath these boards alone too. All right. Thank you, sweetie, for giving me that visual adventure here. All right, let's continue. Whew. Let's see what else we can find. Nope. So let's see, what is that, like 12 or so garter snakes, 1 alligator lizard, several blue bellies, and 1 rubber boa. And we're not even close to being done here. Sometimes you look at these smaller boards and you think, oh, there's nothing underneath there. And you know what?